Hi there, this is Paige with Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm sharing with you the cards that I made for the collab that we're calling Canned Paper Pumpkin Challenge. And I'm doing this with my friend Linda, who is Linda Kaufman here on YouTube. Down below I'll leave a link to her channel in the description box so you can see how she canned her paper pumpkin this month. So we have discovered through conversation that we have a lot of paper pumpkin kits that we're just not getting to on time, and they were kind of piling up, and so we found some that we had in common and we decided to use them up at the same time. So the paper pumpkin kit that we're using this month is from March 2020. It's called No Matter the Weather, and the box was kind of a specialty box. It looked like this. And inside the box is the little publication that comes in the kit, and it made for each of these 3 cards. And I did some similar layouts to what they showed, but then I also did some alternatives. And this was a special kit because we got a second stamp set free in this one. So what I have left from the kit is the stamp set. This was the free one. Let's turn it this way. And then I have the stamp set that came in the kit. Usually comes with a stamp set about this size. I have some of the little acrylic dots that came in the kit, some little raindrops and little circles. I have the Stampin' Spot left. I have the white twine left. And as far as cut-aparts and punch-out pieces, this is all that I have left from the kit. So I'd say I pretty much canned this one, so I felt good about that. Let me show you the cards that I made in no particular order. I've got this one. I used a So Saffron card base. These striped papers that you'll see in Grapefruit Grove, Shaded Spruce, and So Saffron were the linings of the envelopes. And I used up all of the envelopes by cutting them apart and using different portions of them for the cards. A couple circle punches, a stitch circle and a scallop circle in Grapefruit Grove. This is one of the 2 of the elements from the kit that I popped up, and then these were the hearts from the kit that I popped up. And then for the inside I just used the liner of the envelope. I liked that it had lines, so I used it as a writing area on the inside of the card. And then I did add some little borderline stickers from Love from Lizzie on the inside. Here's another one using that same flowers and boots. This time I added the little rabbit. I die cut the stitch circle from the liner of the envelope, and I took some of the scraps and just made a little border on the edge. And I used the Pick-a-Banner punch from Stampin' Up. And then some more of the envelope liner. This one is where the crease, where the flap was, and I just put a borderline sticker there to cover up the crease. Now it looks like a little piece of notebook paper. Kind of cute. Here's another one using the same die cut pieces. Here I used the Shaded Spruce envelope liner. This was one of the card fronts from the kit that I just trimmed down. Backed it with some So Saffron cardstock and put it on a Shaded Spruce card base. And then here's the last of the cards using these boots and flowers. This was 2 of the card fronts. I just cut this one out. I actually made a frame from this one, and this was what was cut out from the center of the frame, and so I just added it to another card front and layered with So Saffron and basic gray cardstock. Here's some of the twine. You can see some of the little raindrops I used and the little droplets. And I'm just looking now at the twine, thinking I could go back and add twine to these cards, so I may do that. This was another one of the cut-aparts, and this was another card front that I just cut off. The cards made note card size, and I wanted to make regular A2 size cards, so that's why I cut the card fronts off. But this whole thing is popped up with dimensionals. Here's another one. Here's where I use some the borderline stickers in the background. Here I use some oval die cuts instead of circles. And then some more of those borderline stickers. And then this was the envelope flap. The adhesive is still there, but it doesn't show up too much, so I just kind of left it because I liked the size that I needed for that edge. Borderline sticker here. And again, this was where the seam, the crease from the flap of the envelope was, so I just put a borderline sticker there. And the last of these kind of boots, these I put glossy accents on. My glossy accents weren't working very well, so this was, I only did it to a couple pairs of boots. Oh, this one, I'm trying to open it the wrong way. This is a single piece of cardstock cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then on the back I did some layering to write an additional message. This is a fun fold card that expands out like this. And I suppose you could write on here, but then your writing might show when it's closed, so that's why I added that to the background. And it just stays closed with some magnets. This card is unfinished. I need something up here, some kind of sentiment, and I haven't discovered one in my stamp room yet that I think would work. But these were some little acrylic stickers. They're kind of puffy and a little bit transparent, so I have these 3 little ducks swimming in that puddle, and then they came with these little bubble stickers as well. But I thought that was cute. And then I just went over part of the puddle with Wink Stella. And this is a brighter yellow because the ducks were not so saffron in color. This was the very last card that I made. It was the scraps that I had left. I had one little pair of boots. I had one little banner. I had glued 2 of the circles together. I have one left in the box, some twine. I had originally cut this piece out for a different card and it wasn't working for me, so I tossed it aside. And as I was cleaning up all my scraps and things, I thought, oh, I can make one more card. And then these were the boot cut-aparts that came in the kit, and I just cut off the blue pair from this end. And again, I need something up here, but I haven't decided what I want that sentiment to say yet. And so these 2 cards are kind of unfinished, and even this card could use something down here. I just don't know what. For this card, I took a balmy blue card base, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I cut off, I think, about 1 1/4 1 1.5 inches, somewhere in there, to make a flap. And then this is one of the note cards that I glued on the inside. So it kind of opens double, and then I added some of the little acrylic raindrops. and then a place to write a message. So I thought that was kind of fun. Here's another fun fold somewhat. This is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 card base, and then I just used, actually what I used was, where is it? I used this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 single piece to help me know how far up I needed to glue this element so that it would still be 4 1/4 across and then 5 1/2 up and down. And so this is just one of the card fronts that I trimmed down. Added another one of those little ducks. This one's holding a beach ball, and I thought the colors went cute with her umbrella. And then the sentiment is popped up. And then there is the inside. And then this one, I pretty much copied what their suggested card. The only thing I did different is I cut it apart and put it on an A2 card base. This is Pear Pizzazz. And then popped up this row of boots, added some twine and a few little raindrops, and then stamped a few little raindrops in the background and some little puddle lines down at the bottom. There's the inside. And then I have this card again. I just cut off a portion of the card front and matted it and put it onto some paper from the liner of the envelope. The boots are popped up. I tuck a little bunny in there. And then here's the inside. And then the final card that I have to show you is this one. I saw this similar idea on the Paper Pumpkin Fan Club, and I knew when I saw it that I wanted to make this card. So I have a basic gray card base. I took one of the cards, which one is it? This one here. This was the card front, and I used this rectangle die to cut out a frame, which is right here now. And I just used some foam tape and put it on top of another matching card base. There's some Magenta Madness in the background as a narrow mat. Here I stamped these boots in Magenta Madness. When I went to add the crystal effects, it made the colors bleed, the ink bleed. So I've got a little bit of purpley pink on the edges. I've got kind of a yellowy pink, just very strange. But to do this, I took my background piece and I marked with a pencil and cut little snips at the top. And then I took some beading thread. It's kind of like, it's clear plastic. It's kind of like fishing line, only it's clear. And then I strung some seed beads and little bugle beads on those threads. And then I snipped the bottom of the card when the beads were on, and I pulled them through and taped them on the back. Now in hindsight, because this was the first time I did this, I got my first and last row of beads a little too close to the frame edge. So some of them are getting caught. If I were to do it again, I think I went in 3/8 of an inch. I think I'd go in a 1/2 inch further on each end and then just work from side to side and space out the little beaded lines. But I love it. When I saw this idea, I just thought, oh, I've got to make this. This is just too cool. And then these are some clouds that I stamped from the stamp set and then fussy cut them. And then the inside is just basic layers. But anyway, those are my cards that I made. I think I made 16 cards out of the contents of the kit. I had a lot of fun. I'd like to thank you for joining me, And now I'm off to create.